we have left God's paths to follow our own. Yet the Lord laid on him the sins of us all. But it was the Lord's good plan to crush him and cause him grief. Yet his life is made an offering for sin. He will have many descendants. He will enjoy a long life, and the Lord's good plan will prosper in his hands. So, a common question that you may have pondered in life is, why do bad things happen to good people? Well, I will ask you to consider another way of looking at it. You see, God is infinitely good, and unfortunately, sin exists all over the earth. You see, sin displeases God, and God's wrath towards sin needs to be dealt with. You see, Jesus was the only perfect person to actually walk this earth, and he actually was sent. He was sent down to earth to pay that price and save us all. But you see, even Jesus wasn't exempt from the hurt, the pain, and the terrors of this sinful world. He was beaten and whipped past recognition, going back to Isaiah 53. He was stabbed in the back by his closest friends. Peter denied him 3 times. Judas sold him to the Roman soldiers. He was falsely accused and sentenced to be crucified, which means he had to die by slowly suffocating. You see, all of this torture and pain actually didn't bring Jesus to his knees. This is not what made him sweat so much that it seemed like blood coming from his head. The thought of taking on our sins actually meant that he would be separated from God for the very first time. He prayed and he prayed and he prayed for another way to do God's will. But then he submitted and said, "Not my will, but yours be done." You see, if you're catching on by now, it is a saving work that God sent Jesus to earth to accomplish. You see, we are imperfect people. We make mistakes every day. From the nurses and first responders on call to help people, to people who are visiting their aging parents and dealing with illnesses, to the pastors streaming their online services. You have so many people across the world who are doing their very best to help people survive this virus. Yet and still, we all will die one day. You see, Jesus didn't come just to save us from sickness or financial troubles or, that annoying coworker that you want to mute on the Zoom call. You see, he came to save our very souls. Your soul is made up of your reasoning and your perception, your thoughts, your choices, your personality, and your character. You see, the good news is on this Good Friday is that even though your physical body is going to die, your soul doesn't have to. You see, the perfect work that Jesus came to do, it saves your very soul and allows you to live in God and live in heaven with God for eternity. You see, with Jesus' sacrifice, God's anger towards sin is paid for. It's done. It's completed. Now the only way to God is Jesus. That's coming from John 14:6. By accepting his sacrifice, you are inviting the Holy Spirit and his grace to give you the power and ability to do God's will in your life. You don't have to stress about the pandemic. You don't have to strain about how you're going to homeschool your children. You don't even have to worry about dying. You see, the thing is, you can't add to sacrifice. It was perfect. It was complete. You see, now in him, in Jesus Christ, your life can be transformed for the better. All we're waiting for is for him to come back. So today, accept Jesus Christ. Walk in the freedom that he's given us, for it is finished.